Hey guys, what is going on? This is Carlos Carrero, and I'm just gonna quickly go over what exactly is Zremesh in ZBrush. So as you guys can see, I have a model that I put in here. I did model this myself. It is not the complete thing, but the thing about Zremesher is you really don't want to work on all of the subtools that you have on one model all at once, because the thing about having multiple subtools is most of the time, even though they will be grouped together, those subtools need to be their own independent parts. So this character that we have here is not a character that I personally designed from the get-go. I actually got this the reference for this from the internet, from a very famous Fakemon designer known as Dark Sylvania. He's got some really cool work. If you're into the whole Pokemon interesting character thing, I definitely recommend that you look up his work. Guy's got, like, or girl, I have no idea. They have just thousands of drawings on the internet of characters, and it really is some really cool stuff. Now, we're in ZBrush, right? And as you can see, we have a relatively low poly model. It is like 3,051 polys, or active points, whichever you choose to acknowledge. And this really isn't that bad of a model for start. This would be retopologized before we were finished. But the cool thing about Zremesh is that it will essentially clean up topology to the point where it'll be a lot better to use before you retopologize. You don't want to use Zremesher on the more complicated shapes. Like, to be fair, this is a very complicated sort of shape, especially with the toe claws here that I put on the back. So you might see a couple problems in there. But if you needed to clean up your topology, for any reason, Zremesher is it's very easy to use. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide this, right? I'm just going to get a couple more thousand polys and active points on this, just to show you guys how well this works. So I'm going to divide in our geometry tab, and as you can see from here, I do have the poly frame thing on. It did smooth it out a little bit, and now we're at 12,200, which is still considerably low, considering that you usually get into the millions, like 2, 3, 4 million active points before you're ready to move on with your retopology. You wanted to get it as smooth as possible. That way, when you're high-resing, you can get as much detail on here. Like, maybe we wanted to draw some battle scars on here, for whatever reason. Maybe this dragon, it's seen some tough days, it's got scars from fights with other dragons or knights or any other Fakemon or Pokemon, whichever you want to see as canon here. Maybe it's gotten into fights with other creatures, that kind of thing. So now that we've divided, I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Dynamesh, this button right here. It says, would you like to freeze the subdivision level before entering Dynamesh mode? And I'm going to say no. And you see what happens. You get this terrible, terrible topology from Dynamesh. Yes, it's easier to sculpt. Yes, it's got a higher poly count. Actually, in this case, it dropped to 10,000 from 12,000. So sometimes Dynamesh can lower your poly count, but you don't want to really trust that for that reason. That's all retopology right there. That's what you want to do. This is not retopology. This is just, multiplying the amount of polys to make it easier to sculpt on so that the details you make are more pronounced. So you can see, you can see from the what we just did that we have this just terrible topology. This, especially around the legs. Like, if we would try to make blend shapes off of this thing would just be so angular. Hey, look, there's, well, not really, but the Triforce symbol. But it just be a mess. You know, an absolute mess. Well, I'm going to stay zoomed in here, just so you guys can see. This is the waistline of the creature. And we're going to go to Zremesh. And I'm going to leave everything as is, but we're going to hit Zremesh. Now, wait, I'm going to turn on my symmetry first. Like, look at this. This isn't even symmetrical. I probably should have Zremeshed in symmetry, but watch what happens. Loads up, and look at the beauty of that. We got rid of those terrible angles and stuff like that. It's such a better model. Like, oh, I just undid it. Here, let me do it again. It's great. It really is. And I'm going to zoom out here. Like, look at the, look at the face. That's the thing about using this, though. Sometimes when you have lower poly counts, like when you have very basic shapes, sometimes they can get distorted and ruined. I'm trying to zoom out here. There were teeth on this, little fangs. Well, not really fangs. It was more like a beak. And the sides of the beak were kind of a little bit jagged. They were pointing downward. And now they're just gone. And the eye sockets are almost gone too. Like, I'd have to do further polymodding. But you do see that even with a complex shape like this, it cleans up the UVs something real nice. So guys, that was just a short, representation of what ZBrush is capable of in terms of using Zremesh. Look at this. It actually puts some webbing on the feet. You see, this is why you don't use it as a definite source of retopology, because the finer details, the more complex something is, and you have to go over here and change a bunch of things in order for this to equal out. But I'm still learning with it myself. But guys, I hope that helped, whoever needed to watch it. They could see firsthand what Zremesh did. Maybe you're like me and you don't want to hit buttons because you don't want to mess things up. You want to know how they work beforehand. This would still need to be retopologized. We have topology in here that is a little stretched out, like these two polys right here. They're actually the entire thing here. They're just rectangular, and good topology is typically square, close to, if not a perfect square. So guys, this has been Carlos Carrero. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll be able to get some more videos on here soon. All right, you guys have a good one.